What's going on, y'all? It's UTXJG the Don. We are back with another episode of the Hardest Thing podcast. I had another guest in mind, but I always wanted to talk to this guy that I have here. He ended up saying, hey, yo, I'm down. So I was like, I'm not waiting. Let's get this done because I've always had my guy in mind. And I've known this guy for a long time. Welcome, D-Man, to the pod. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Thank you. So, for a little history lesson, and correct me if I'm wrong, let's go all the way back to when we first met and started interacting. Now, all of you people, OG YouTube, remember a company called Yoush, damn it, with Big Snacks. Shout out to Big Snacks if he ends up watching this. So, Big Snack started Yoush back in the day. There was really only Machinima and a couple of other like smaller MCNs. And back in the day, that was really one of the only ways that you were going to get your content out there, especially if you were doing video games. And Big Snacks at the time, him and a couple other guys started another network called Yoush. And I remember my boy D-Man was in the chat. They had a website that had a chat on it. I remember D-Man was active in the chat. I was active in the chat. There was a lot of people that were trying to get on. So I was like, yo, let me check this dude out. Let me see what he got going on. And then I started interacting with you. And I think the first time that we actually gamed together, we were playing Call of Duty. And I believe it was through Shakedown. Now, shout out to Shakedown because he used to be like the glue back in the day for a lot of people. Shout out to Shakedown. There's definitely an OG. And not only with 2K, because I know he mainly does 2K now, but we were playing a lot of heavy Call of Duty back then, and that was the entry point for a lot of people. So we started gaming together a little bit through there. So shout out to Shakedown, and that was pretty much like the start of our friendship. And going down the line, like I seen you, progress. I seen you, put your focus more on 2K and UFC, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And now you're at the point where you are now. So that's a little history lesson between me and D-Man on how we started interacting. But let's talk about your life before content creation. So give me a little synopsis of the life of D-Man, how you grew up, and how we even got to the point right before you started making your first YouTube video.
Yeah. Man, really humble beginnings. I would say didn't grow up in the best area of Dallas, grew up in Oak Cliff. So really for me, it sounds cliche, but being inside on the game was safer than being outside. You know what I mean? And so that's why my mom never really had issues with buying me games. The first game I ever played, I was young, man. It was Super Mario World. The kids don't know about that one, but it's still my favorite game till this day. And so I just had such a good time on Super Mario World. I was begging my mom, like, yo, I got to get a video game. I have to get something to be inside the house or else I'm going to be outside. That's the leverage I had over my mom's. Like, she didn't want me outside at all. So first system was Nintendo 64. I had Super Mario 64. I had Mario Kart 64. Played those until they stopped working. And it's funny because I tell people, like, I wasn't even a gamer like that. Not until online came out, I wasn't really a gamer like that. And so I did have a PlayStation 1. It was the smaller version. I got that one. That was like $50. So, that's way down the line. I don't even think I had games for the PlayStation 1. I just had demos, Same with PlayStation 2. I got a video game before I got the console. We was at church. We was doing some Secret Santa type deal. I don't know what it is. I was able to choose a gift. And I opened it up. I said, oh, snap. Street Hoops for PlayStation 2.
Street Hoops.
The problem was I didn't have a PlayStation 2. And so I was able to get a PlayStation 2. And then after that, 360 came out. Of course, I skipped over like all the handhelds because we know the story with those. Like, I feel like everybody had the Game Boy Color, PSP. Those changed the game. But the 360 came out, and that's when I really started gaming, mainly because of the online. So that's when I got into Halo 3. That's when I got into COD 4. Even heavy duty into NBA 2K. Like I've always had NBA 2K because they used to be $20, but that's when I really got heavy duty into NBA 2K. So when it's, life before YouTube, it's pretty simple. I play games because it was just safer than being outside, and that's pretty much all it was.
So interesting. Yeah, and it's funny because lately we talked about it on the podcast too, but video games, for certain people on the other side of the gender spectrum have been seen as a negative thing. But in your case, and I've heard this, plenty of times, and I think even for me, like I never really got into that crowd. Like I think I knew at a pretty young age that like that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to be outside hanging, around the wrong people. But I used to do both. Like I used to play video games in the house. My mom knew where I was, and I used to go outside as well. Like I used to, balance both. But video games for a lot of people, yeah, it did save them from, being out in the streets, doing some dumb stuff. Like everybody everybody does dumb stuff. Like we're kids, we do dumb stuff. We get into it, we learn our lesson. But hanging in the house playing video games, like it's a nice escape, and at the same time, again, it can save you in a lot of situations from being outside doing dumb stuff. So in your case, you just brought it up again. So that's interesting. All right, so let's talk about your first YouTube video. So what got you even into making YouTube videos?
Yeah, for real, it was Chris Smooth. Like I said, I was really into 2K. So before school, I'll be on the 2K forums, just seeing what everybody was talking about, checking out the new cheese, seeing what moves I need to pick up and stuff like that. And of course, there's always going to be a thread of complaints about 2K. It was always like that. And somebody said, this 2K is the reason why Chris Smooth is singing another tune again. And everybody loved it. I was like, who's Chris Smooth? So I go to YouTube, check out Chris Smooth. And this is when YouTube was barely beginning, man. Bad quality, all that. But I check out Chris Smooth and I said, you know what? I like 2K. I like Call of Duty. I think I can do this, right? And so that pretty much what got me started. First video, it was probably Call of Duty. It was probably 2K. I don't even remember.
I actually looked. I took a look right before this. It was a Call of Duty video.
It probably was.
Yes, and you did a commentary with the conscience, with yourself, your conscience, and you were talking to yourself. I saw it. I was like, let me look and see what this first video was, and let me see if
now let me delete that before people go looking, man. Let me get rid of that stuff. I don't need people looking at that. It was cringe. Like it's cringe now, but back then, like everything you did was dope. But now it's just like, nah. That was
happens to everybody. Everybody has a cringe
exactly.
video. Nobody's video was perfect back then, but continue.
No, but that's pretty much it, man. Chris Smooth got me started. And the one thing I enjoyed personally about the Call of Duty community is like everybody was on like the S-Jaws, Grizz, Nanners. I saw Ethos brought a Wicked Shrapnel. Shout out Wicked Shrapnel.
Yeah, sir.
But man, when I found out that people were like me were doing commentary, that's when I really got into it, man. That's when I really started watching people. So that's pretty much what got me started for real.
That's interesting. Yeah, shout out to Chris Smooth. I know that he has throughout the years received a lot of hate. Like he's been in his share of beefs or whatever, accused of certain things. But for the 2K community, like I think a lot of people need to go back and pay that man homage because he was legit the first 2K YouTuber that blew up and continued to just be on that upward trajectory. And it did inspire a lot of other content creators to start doing 2K videos. Now, that is for sure. So, all right. So you keep making YouTube videos. You were doing Call of Duty. You were doing Madden. You were doing 2K. So what was that moment where one of your videos blew up, went viral to the point where you were like, hey, maybe I can continue doing this like full time and, continuing to see where this goes rather than it just, being a hobby at the beginning?
Yeah. So honestly, it took me a while because I'm one of those people. It's just like, I like gaming, so I don't really pay attention to views, even though I probably should, right? But I don't really pay attention to views. But once UFC 2 came out, right? I've always played UFC games. But once UFC 2 came out and I started doing like the creations and doing the Ronald McDonald's, the Hulks, all that stuff on there. And I saw the paycheck I got from it. And it was pretty consistent for like 11, 12 months, I said, okay, this might be something I can really do and look into, at least as a side hustle, because as you may know, doing content creation full time financially, it can get kind of shaky sometimes. You know what I mean? But once UFC 2 came out, Ronald McDonald, that video got probably like 2 million views. Then I posted a few more viral videos throughout that whole year. That's when I realized, you know what, content creation might be for me.
Yeah, I actually remember that Ronald McDonald video. That was crazy, and I wasn't expecting that from you at the time. Like, I didn't fully know that you were into UFC, but I was like, yo, like, all right, he's playing the game. But the character creation stuff, like, I don't know why people like gravitated towards that, but that shit ended up being super popular, especially for you. So like, I didn't see a lot of other people doing that at that time. Like, I seen people playing UFC, of course. But that's also kind of like a niche, kind of genre, especially on YouTube. But to see you do the character creation, like actually making the character, they're like, yo, like, that's cool. Like Ronald McDonald knocking somebody out the ring. Like, it was fire, right?
And it's funny because you had half the people that really liked it. And then you had the other half, the tap out shirt wearing people that just hated it, bro. They were like, bro, who wants to see a clown in the octagon? Who wants to see the Hulk in the octagon? And I'm like, bro, I'm just having fun. And I think that's when I really learned something about myself, because YouTube wise, I think I'm really private. Like, most people think I just play 2K and UFC. I play everything. And so that's why I started to branch out, starting with the UFC.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that was interesting, to see your, kind of shift. It was still within the sports realm, but, see exactly. Your shift, more from, being like the quote unquote 2K guy, which is a hard box to, get out of per se, especially if you've been doing, a lot of 2K videos, but then, move over to UFC and still find the success. And, in your case, even more success doing those videos with that video game versus doing 2K. But let's shift back to 2K. So that was like your main thing that you were doing. So let's talk about the point to when you got noticed enough that you went to 2K Day.
Oh man. I don't know. I feel like it was always building up. I felt like I wanted to become a name in the community. And it's funny because the community manager at the time, LD2K, I've always rocked with them. I used to play 2K11 with them. I used to play 2K12 with them. And from there, that's pretty much how I got in. That's how I feel like, at least. I feel like LD2K really looked out for me. Now, a lot of people would say, nah, man, you kind of deserve it. You know about the game and stuff like that. But I want to just give LD2K his flowers for really looking out for me and really just trusting me to be a good 2K community guy, because we don't have a lot of them. And so that was really my way in personally. That's how I got to meet most of the devs, and that's how I ended up going to Community Day, to be real with you.
Oh, see, I never knew that. Like, I always used to advocate for you. I'm like, yo, this man, he knows his stuff. He's super unbiased. And, I want him to go to 2K Day because I feel like he can, legitimately give the proper feedback in order to make the next year's title better. But you actually already had, sort of a relationship with LD2K, and you just continue to build upon that, along with, obviously doing your videos with 2K and, submitting your actual feedback and whatnot. And then, they ultimately got you to 2K Day. What year was that? What year did you first go to 2K Day?
That was 2000. Was it 2016? It was either 2015 or 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So the next years were actually really good 2Ks. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, you felt like you were like, yeah, man, I made an impact.
We did that. Yeah.
How was that overall experience going to 2K Day for the first time, the first year, and, meeting a bunch of other 2K content creators, maybe some that you already knew, maybe some that you didn't, and ultimately getting to play the game and being the first to, tell everybody, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I feel about the game. And this is the feedback that I gave, to the devs in order to, impact the next year's title.
Man, it feels kind of surreal just to meet the people behind the game, because I'm such a behind the process type of guy. Like, I love that process. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm kind of worried because the 2K community online can be weird. I'm not sure how they're going to act in person, but I'm glad everybody was just cool in person. So far, there hasn't been any issues. So I would say the whole experience is just surreal because I used to see people do this. I saw iPod do it. I saw, of course, Chris Smooth and Shakedown do it before, and I wanted to be there. So when I actually made it to that point, I just I couldn't believe it. All my friends at the time, it's like, yo, you used to ask for this, you used to work for this, and now you're there. And so that's when I realized, okay, look, 2K, they looking out for me, and I can never really repay them because they do more than what people believe or what people think, and I probably can't get into it, but they of course they love their game. You know what I mean? That's why I try to tell people they love their game. Even the people that go out to community day, it's like we want to play the game all year. We don't want a bad 2K, so we're not going to be yes man. You know what I mean? But just being able to give that feedback, it just feels so. I keep using the word surreal, but that's how I feel about it. Like I said, from being in the forums in 2009 to being able to talk to the devs and give feedback, I still can't believe I had that opportunity, even to this day.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And like I said, I was super proud, for you when you actually went, and I was happy that you were able to, give the proper feedback, impact the next titles. How do you feel about 2K now? Do you feel like 2K is better or worse? Because I know like it seems to always be like around March, April, May, like, leading into the summer that it kind of dies down, and then you hear like the same sentiment. 2K is trash now. Like, we're waiting on the next one. So how do you feel about 2K right now as a whole?
Honestly, as a whole, I just don't think I can't. It's expectations, right? Like, I think people expect to play 2K all year round throughout the full cycle. And honestly, like, what game can you play for the full cycle? It's only like 4 or 5 games that you can play throughout the full cycle, and they're way bigger than 2K. You know what I mean? So I think it really comes down to expectations. So I think, personally, I think 2K23 was solid. Not saying it's flawless. We still have to get some work done on that. But my main concern is with the community, man. Not really the game. The community is what scares me sometimes. But that's just me, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the community has always been a polarizing thing. Like, every single year, it doesn't matter what, you'll have, people on one side, they're like, hey, it's good. And you have the people on the other side that, they may be into the cheese, they may be into the meta, and they ultimately mess up the game. I think the latest thing I saw was people who were disrupting 5-on-5 games because if they weren't getting the ball within a certain amount of time that they would leave. Yeah.
So you got 30 seconds on a wreck with randoms, man.
That's insane. Like, how do people find that fun? Like, you can't demand that. Like, I feel like that even happens in real life, right? Like, oh, if you're just doing a pickup game, I may be the last one to get picked, and they're like, yo, man, I don't know this dude. Like, he may be a bum out there. I'm not even going to try to give him the ball. Like, imagine you quitting, like, man, you ain't giving the ball, man. I'm out. Like, no, you gonna sit there. Yeah, like, you gonna run up and down the court. Like, yeah, you may be upset, like, maybe, because you didn't get your shot or whatever, but you're not just gonna, be a hoe and just leave, because then you never gonna get to play. Like, you never gonna even get picked. You might well go to another gym or something. So, like, I feel like people are, have that little bit of entitlement, but also it's ignorance, it's childishness to be doing stuff like that. Like, you're literally just ruining the entire experience of everybody, not just for yourself. If you're going to do that, you might well just go play My Career or something, because you have a one-on-one, you're playing against a CPU, but, ultimately people don't want to do that. So yeah, I totally understand how the community can be, they can be very upsetting,
it's super childish. Like, I've never seen people just self-sabotage before. Like, even on Call of Duty, like, Call of Duty randoms, they're just bad. They're trying, but they're bad. Yeah. Same on any other shooter. I'm playing FIFA right now, bro. I'm playing pro clubs. I jump in with randoms all the time. And I say, look, I would never have this much success on 2K playing solo. Like, I don't understand how 2K is just a self-sabotaging community like that.
Insane.
That's my game, though. I'm going to stick beside them.
That's what's up. All right, so we mentioned 2K, we mentioned UFC. What other games or what other sports or is D-Man into? You just mentioned FIFA. So what else are you playing?
Right now, I'm on that Diablo 4 because there's so many games coming out that something had to take the back burner, right? So for me, I decided, look, Street Fighter 6, you look good, you look cool, but I'm gonna jump on this Diablo 4 mainly because it's co-op. You know, I grew up playing co-op games with the homies, and so I'm still a co-op fan personally. And so Diablo 4 right now, that's what I'm really on. As for previous games, anything for free or cheap, I'll try it out. Like you don't know this, you gonna love it, but I love Judgment, bro. You didn't even know I played that, huh?
No, no, not at all. This actually makes me smile. I'm happy.
Yeah, man. Like I play a lot of games, but people ask why don't I post it and stuff. I just don't want to monetize a hobby that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to load up Diablo and say, you know, how can I make content on this? Or load up FIFA and say, how can I make content on this? Sometimes, you know, just want to play the game.
Yeah.
So I pretty much play everything. When it comes to sports, basketball is my main thing. So I always play 2K, but I'll give any basketball game a chance if anybody can make a good one. You feel me?
If it existed, yeah, because it's only one. It's literally only one, which is insane. It's insane. So let's talk about UFC. Now I know that pretty much anytime a pay-per-view comes around, that I know if nobody else is watching, and I know you are because you're always tweeting about it. So you know a UFC event is coming next weekend. So we have that one. Who's right now your favorite UFC fighters?
As of right now, my favorite UFC fighters, of course, Dustin Poirier will always be top for me, like probably top 5 for me. Do Bronx, the lightweight division is that. I love Do Bronx, Charles Oliveira. Of course, John Jones, that's my dog. Watch them rise and then fall and then rise again. and then fall again. But now he's rising again.
Yeah.
The Diaz brothers, been watching the Diaz brothers since before they were in the UFC. So those are my main fighters right now, man.
Okay.
How about yourself? I'm actually interested.
I mean, all time it's always gonna be Anderson Silva. Like without a doubt, he's my GOAT. I mean, and I like Tyron Woodley before he lost. Like Tyron Woodley is so weird now. Like right now, I'm really hating him because I don't like how, even though he's getting more money because, you know, UFC fights, that once we found out that Dana White wasn't really paying fighters, you know, compared to boxing, then, you know, they made a lot of people upset. So I understand why, you know, a lot of former UFC fighters went that route to, you know, get in the boxing ring. But I feel like Tyron Woodley, like, has personally just, I feel like he disgraced his own name, like to go to arguing on Twitter, like with the YouTuber. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you know, got good at boxing. You know, that's fine. I think that Jake has definitely gotten better, but it's like, bro, like I just feel like it's a disgrace to you because you've been a champion in the past. Like, and he's from my hometown, so of course I rock with Tyron Woodley. Yeah, like, bro, you from the
your hood, bro.
Yeah, you from the loop. Stop acting like that, bro. And then he was on TMZ as well. Like, I know that TMZ had a sports division. I was just like, why are you doing this? I didn't fully understand that. So, but Tyron Woodley, I rock with him for a minute. John Jones, of course, but like I said, I have my ups and downs with him. I just hope that he continues to finally, maybe this time, you know, stay clean and not get into any crap. So that's what I'm rocking with right now. I mean, honestly though, like it's been a lot of fighters that have just, you know, retired or have just, you know, they gotten old, and you know, when you get old, there's nothing you can do. Like, you're fighting father time, so you can't really bounce back from that. But I like Izzy. I like Izzy.
Sure.
Adesanya. So that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty all rocking with. But right now, I don't really have like one person who I'm just like stuck on right now. I'm just like trying my best to hold hope for like the older folks who I grew up watching, that they'll continue to stay.
Right. Seeing people go out, bro, in the UFC is so sad, man.
It sucks.
Like the way Anderson Silva went out, BJ Penn, even like recently, like Jose Aldo is going out, and it's just like, I don't know if I can watch this, to be real.
Yeah, BJ Penn was my guy, bro.
I promise.
BJ Penn was my guy. It's so funny because one of my homies who I call my bro, like for some reason, like we made up something, and we was like, yo, I bet you can't beat up BJ Penn. And keep in mind, like my brother's like 6'2", like almost 200 pounds. So obviously, like you're the higher weight class, but I'm like, bro, you can't fight. Like BJ, I like BJ Penn, whoop your ass, and he was like, man, I'll beat him up. Like we just kept that joke going on forever. But I freaking love BJ Penn. Jose Aldo, I hated that flash KO that basically propped McGregor up to where he was, because I was like, man, he should have gotten an immediate rematch and he didn't. And then all of a sudden, then Jose Aldo's career started going downhill. I'm like, bro, like it was just sad the way that his career ended up after that flash KO of Bob McGregor. So yeah, it was just a lot of things, man. Like I like Chuck Liddell back in the day, I like Rampage back in the day. Even Sugar Shane, like man, I liked him too. Like that beef between him and, oh man,
Lyoto was my guy.
Machida back in the day, man. Vito Belfort before he ended up getting that up kick, bro. He got that up kick to the face. It was crazy. So yeah, so many good moments, man. Like UFC back then was definitely more lit. But I mean, we got some up and comers who I'm excited about. So I sure. I still watch and I still try to keep up as much as I can. Basketballs, get to basketball in real life. So Phoenix Suns fan.
Yeah.
How did this come about, being from Dallas, man? Please tell me, how did this happen?
It's crazy, bro. Like I just like the running gun Suns. That's what I tell people. Like I just like the running gun Suns, man. I think Barkley was dope. After Barkley, man, once Steve Nash went to the Suns, I was like, I'm going to the Suns. Because people don't know this, but I actually rocked with the Mavericks a little bit when it was like Nash, Dirk, Michael Finley, Nick Van Nessel type beat.
Yes, sir.
People don't remember them, but man, once Steve Nash went to the Suns, I said, I'm going with you, bro. And I've been a Suns fan ever since.
Okay. How are you feeling about your season? I mean, you got KD late in the season. Did you honestly think that you're going to be able to make a run, or were you like, nah, like let's wait until next year because this ain't it?
No, sir. It's funny because like the Suns were in the trenches for a long time. So I just want to say, look, I'm just happy to be here. People want to bring up our playoff loss. Look, we made the playoffs. It's a win already, right? But this season, bro, I hate that we had to trade away so much, bro. Mikal, Cam, those are two of my favorite players. And like people said, man, we didn't have enough depth. It was just D-Book versus the world. Even with KD on the team, it was D-Book versus the world. And I knew that just wasn't enough for Denver. Because Denver, I mean, I think they might win the finals in 4, maybe 5. So I wasn't really expecting to get anywhere. But I'm looking forward to this offseason. I'm looking forward to seeing if we can pick anybody up. Of course, I think we just got Frank Vogel as coach.
Yep.
So I'm not excited about that. But it's still better than Doc Rivers, though. So I can't be too mad.
It's way too funny because we know that Doc Rivers has been, we always go back to the Celtics because I mean that's always been there. But like now Doc Rivers, like that man gonna stay with a job. He's gonna end up being somewhere. But it's like we all know it was like, bro, after the Celtics, you could never make it. So like I don't understand how this cloud went over him. But now people are trying to like avoid him being on your team. Don't coach my team.
He coached one too many teams that choked a 3-1 lead. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. People still bring up the Luka 40-point loss to me. It's like, I'm not trying to choke a 3-1 lead. Not as a Suns fan in Dallas, man. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's tragic. So let's talk about Mavs GG. So we already mentioned Dallas. Let's talk about Mavs GG. So how did this come about? How did you end up getting on the team? And was there any bitterness because you're not really a Mavs fan?
Nah, it's funny because that's like one of the things I brought up on the first day. I was like, y'all know I'm a Suns fan, right? They said, okay, cool. We don't have a problem with that. I said, okay, that's fine. But it's funny because the 2K league started or whatever. And of course, with the Mavericks having a team, my boss was just like ahead of the curve. My Nathan, that's my boss now. Shout out to Nathan, man. I want to give him his flowers. But he was just ahead of the curve because when you think about these esports teams or these esports brands, how often do you think about the players? For me, I personally don't. You think about the content creators. And so that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to start a content creator team for Mavs Gaming. And since I play 2K, I'm in Dallas. Nathan, Jonathan, and Jordan, shout out to those 3. They hit me up and said, yo, do you want to stream for us? Now, like I'm not really a streamer, But for the Mavericks, I'll cut the camera on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like when JG comes hitting me up to be on the podcast, you know, I'll cut the camera on for sure.
All right.
And so that's how I got started. They said, you know what? You did a good job with the Twitch. Do you want to make YouTube videos for us? I said, I'm already making YouTube videos for 2K. I might as well do it for Mouse Gaming also. And so we did that for a year. And then after that, they put out a job posting for a video production assistant. And I did see it, but I was kind of doubting myself. So I didn't sign up for anything. You know, I didn't put in a resume or anything like that because even though I'm really experienced in video editing, I don't have my bachelor's or anything like that. I assumed that's what they were looking for. Mm-hmm. So my now boss, Nathan, he gives me a call and he was like, yo, did you see that job posting we posted on Twitter? I said, yeah, I saw it. And he was like, I'm not going to lie to you. That was really for you. Like, I think you can help me out with some of these videos because he gets swamped. They have him doing everything. And he said, I would really like it if you come and work for the Dallas Mavericks. I said, okay. You know, I was in there because that opportunity for somebody like me that didn't finish college and just, I've been doing content creation for so long and I worry about the future, worry about stable income. I worry about retirement plans and stuff like that. So for somebody like me, it was a no-brainer. So it's funny, a lot of people think I'm just like a content creator for Mavs GG. It's like, nah, I work for the Mavericks now, thanks to Nathan and thanks to 2K and YouTube. It's actually kind of crazy.
Wow. No, that story is really dope. You know, how you went from just making YouTube videos, 2K Day, ended up getting noticed by Mavs GG, ended up getting with them, doing content creation with them, and now a video production assistant. No, that's super dope. And just think about like how, you know, your connections ended up, you know, leading to that. Like, I think that's a super dope story. Cause I didn't even know that you were a video production assistant for them. I thought that you were still doing just regular content, you know, streaming or YouTube videos for them. So that's cool. And especially like, you know, your boss hitting you up and like, yo, like this is for you. Like,
right.
Like you don't get on this.
Right. It's like in that moment, I really couldn't turn them down. I think the cool part is like, the way we look at it is, and I know you're the same way, it's like when you make it to a certain level, you got to look back and reach your hand out and help other people out. And so they still have me doing kind of like influencer marketing, like all the content creators you see with Mavs GG. I brought them on. You know, I put their name for it. And so once I found out I was doing that, I was like, man, I got to hit on my dog Demi, of course. I got to hit on my dog Dooms, of course, and just try to help out wherever I can. You know, I just like to help people out.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, speaking of Dooms, TKZ. Right. So you run with them a lot. Was there any point where D-Man was like, hey, maybe, just maybe, I want to get into esports 2K League. I want to take things serious and like start training and like putting in the work, putting in the hours to possibly make a spot on the 2K League team or just be on CKZ permanently and just run with them?
That first season, I said 2K League, this is for me, man. Like, I'll play 2K. We play competitive 2K, but you know, it just didn't work out. They had the combine where you have to play with randoms. Playing with randoms for a shot to make the 2K League, it was pure chaos. So I could be the ultimate role player. It's not like I'm a star player or anything. I could be the ultimate role player, but that's obviously not going to work out for me. So after that first season, I just chilled on it. It is what it is. And it's funny because with my role now and looking at what they have to do and how much they have to do, I'm good on that. You know, I'm not tripping on that. I'm good.
No, that's what's up. That's funny that you realized that early because I saw Dooms getting frustrated because, you know, he had the team and, you know, he wanted to do that. And, you know, it seemed like every single year he got closer and closer and closer, then ultimately didn't make it. And I told him straight up, I think after that, the infamous Mario Kart video, which you were a part of as well, after that Mario Kart video, I was like, Dooms, like, have you thought about like taking a back seat on the competitive 2K, like trying to make the 2K League? I think that you're better than this. I think that you can stream other games. You can maybe find your niche somewhere else and continue to build on that instead of worried about, you know, 2K League giving you a spot. Because I feel like at this point, you gotten so far. You've gotten like your own story with the 2K League and Mavs Gaming, but that still didn't lead to, you know, you ultimately getting a roster spot somewhere. So I'm like, bro, like I hate to see this because like I can see it's killing you inside. Like you have so many people who are rooting for you, but it ended up working. So I was like, bro, just, you know, take a back seat, see if you have a possibility somewhere else. And then ultimately, you know, he ended up getting on the Mavs GG content creation team. So I'm like, bro, I'm so freaking happy for you that you ended up making that happen. But you decided, you know, super early after the first year, you're like, nah, I'm good. Like I just don't see this is for me.
It's funny because like that combo you have with Doom, I probably had that combo with Doom like 3 times a week, bro.
Oh my God.
Doom's is funny as hell, right? Like he's funny. He can be a content creator. And like sometimes I feel bad because I don't know if I'm projecting or anything. I don't know if I'm pushing something on him that he doesn't really want to do. Mm-hmm. But it's just like we see it in him. He can be a content creator. But like I said, like you can't make people just do stuff. You know what I mean? It's the same with playing with randoms on 2K. You can't make them pass. They're going to do what they want to do, bro.
Right. Everybody want to be the star. Yeah, everybody want to be the star. So like I said, but I'm happy, you know, he's at the point where he is now. But yeah, I told him, I like, bro, after that last year when you didn't make it, I like, just stop, bro. Like, just see what else is out there. Because
like, exactly. We don't like them people anyway, don't like. We don't like them anyway, bro. Like, why you want to work with them?
Yeah. So that's what's up. So let's get out of the video game sphere. So what does D-Man like to do outside of video games? What does D-Man like to do when he cuts everything off, is not doing content creation, not playing video games? What do you like to do on your off time?
I feel like you know what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
But I like to hoop and watch anime, man. I be chilling now. Like I'm getting up there. I turned 31 this year, so I'm not really active like that outside anymore. So when I can, I get out, stay active. So like my face blowing up a little bit, but I stay active so I'm not out of shape. And then come home, chill, watch some anime, and call it a day, man.
I really want to hoop some more. Like I got a couple of spots around me. I need to get a basketball again, to be honest. But yeah, I just want to get back out there, like just at least to keep active, because I think people don't really see basketball as exercise, but it can be. It definitely can be exercise.
That cardio gets kind of crazy.
Even for sure.
That's why even when I'm playing with people that's just not passing, you know, the woulda, coulda, shouldas of the world, I say, look, I'm gonna run up and down. I'm gonna get some cardio at least.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I think, like when I was playing like some pickup games, I was like, yo, my shins were like burning at one point. I said, man, I'm getting old out here. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Look, the first time I had to deal with stretch fractures, bro, I thought I was done. I thought I was never hooping again, man.
Yeah, like some of those injuries are just, you know, overall aches that you feel as you get older. I'm like, bro, like shout out to LeBron, man, because like I said, his training regimen is ridiculous to still be playing. Like he's about to be in his 21st season. Like it's crazy. And then you see like all the other players who, you know, don't take care of their bodies like that, and they just suffer injuries every single year. So like just me not playing anything professional in my life, just doing regular pickup games for basketball, and I'm feeling like this. I'm like,
it's funny because
like they different.
It's funny because I feel like both of us, like we probably used to do something like so much, like play basketball or any type of sport. And so when people say, just wait till you hit 30 something, your body gonna be aching. And back then we would say, man, that'll never happen to me. It'll never happen to me. Hey, let me tell you, it's gonna happen to you.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, I promise.
It definitely does. It's crazy. But as long as you staying in shape, like, you know, just, you know, keeping active, that's what's up. Everybody should at least walk, you know, if you can't do anything else, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day, you know, do some stretching or whatnot. You know, take some vitamins, because I didn't see vitamins as being serious either until I turned 30.
Hey, look, you need Ace on this podcast, huh?
I know, for real. Yeah, Ace will tell me something with his regimen. So yeah, Ace stayed in shape. That man jumping over fire and all this. I'm like, you crazy, man. Going to Big Bear, doing 10Ks. I'm like, you ridiculous.
Like, you got that, brother. No, but you're right though. Just anything. Like I run the stairs in my house sometimes, bro. Mm-hmm. Just when I'm feeling kind of sluggish, like, man, let me hit these stairs really quick. I regret it sometimes, but you know, it's good for you.
That's true. All right, so anime, yeah, I know you're a big anime fan too. So you mentioned that. What's your anime that you're watching right now? What anime are you watching?
I would have to load up the My Anime list. I'm a nerd, man. I try to tell people, and people don't believe me. But I'm watching about 10 to 15 series right now.
Damn.
Just to keep it. I know, bro. Like
it's a job at this point.
I promise you. That's why, like, I'm trying to get this anime brand going. But as of right now, just to keep it short, Oshinoko, great anime this season. Demon Slayer 3 or season 3, great anime this season. A bunch of I watch romantic comedy animes. Can I say that on the podcast?
Hey man,
can I get that off my chest, man?
Yes, hey, go ahead, man. It's a safe space.
Look, bro, like I'm watching all the romantic comedy anime this season, bro. Sometimes I don't want to see people get decapitated. Sometimes I just want to see people fall in love. You feel me?
Okay. All right.
So anything that sounds remotely interesting, I check it out. And sometimes I take L's because of it. But when people ask for recommendations, I'm glad I'm able to help them out a little bit because, you're going to take some W's too.
Yeah, I'm such a fraud. Like, I remember there was one point when I was with one of my exes, like she was a huge anime fan and she put me onto some stuff that I probably would have never found or watched by myself. But I just like fell out of it. And I don't think it was any rhyme or reason, but I think I just felt like it may have been too much or something. I just stopped watching anime. So like, I came back when like the big animes came out. Like I watched Attack on Titan, everybody talking about that. I watched My Hero, and everyone was talking about that, and a couple of animes here or there. But then I got into JoJo's because shout out to Saving the Bees. That man always talked about watching JoJo's, and I was like, man, what the hell is this? And I started watching it, and it became one of my favorites. So I was like, yeah, I freaking love JoJo. So shout out to him for that. But yeah, I don't really watch anime like I probably should. I end up watching a lot of like other shows with my wife, but she's not into that at all. So like I don't ever cut it on, and I think that's probably more of the reason why I just stopped because she's not into it.
Oh yeah, for sure, it makes sense. I wouldn't call yourself a fraud because of that though. Like you like what you like. It's simple as that.
Yeah, it's true. I call myself a fraud because I'm not a hardcore anime watcher anymore. Like I'm just a casual. Like I'll watch every now and then, but yeah,
ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's weird when people put that stigma on people. It's just like, oh, if you watch dub, you're not a real anime fan and stuff like that. Like people watch anime, they watch anime, bro.
Is that even still an argument? I remember there was an argument way back in the day. I don't think people really talk about that as much, do they?
It's funny because it's even worse now. Like the discourse, it's even worse now. They don't even talk about sub or dub. They talk about where you watch anime now. If you only watch Netflix anime, you're not an anime head. If you only watch Hulu anime, you're not an anime. It's getting bad out here, bro. Like, it's getting horrible out here.
So okay, so you're an elitist if you watch it on Crunchyroll and
yeah, you gotta have a Crunchyroll
and Funimation,
right?
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Okay, all right, yeah. See, this is why I stay out of anime conversations.
I promise, like I don't. It has to be me. Like every community I decide to join, it just goes haywire. 2K, UFC, anime. It has to be me at this point, bro.
Oh my god!
I just try to find my safe space.
That's true. That's so funny. All right. So last question for you. So D man, I know that none of this is always a hard question because no one truly knows. But for you, what would you say your end goal with content creation would be? What does D man want to ultimately do before he's like, yo, I want to hang it up. I'm ready to retire, be done. What does D-Man want to do at the end of the day as his end goal?
Honestly, just have a positive impact in whatever community I'm in. That's all I care about right now because it's a bunch of negativity going around, So as long as I'm remembered as somebody that was positive and somebody that at least tried to change the game for the better, I think I'll be good with that. And if I retire and that's all it is, I'm not tripping. As for like goals or businesses and stuff, I have no idea. Like you said, that's a real question. That's a hard question to really answer. I would love to work with 2K more, especially with this Nest Makers program. I would love to work with them more. I would love to work with the 2K League more. But sometimes it's just not going. I realize it's probably not going to happen, especially with 2K. So that's why I say, like, I just want people to know that I had a positive impact on the community that I was in, and I'll be good, bro. Because, like I said, content creation for me, it was never really full time. It's more of a side hustle. Not saying that I don't enjoy it, But when I'm ready to hang it up, I'll be ready to hang it up. I don't want to be forced out. Like it's a couple commentators that came up with me, and they're like down bad right now, man. And I only say that to say, like, I think I'm blessed to be able to go for this long already. And I think that's what I want people to remember, just the consistency, the effort, and the positivity.
Mm. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I especially during this conversation when I learned, what you ended up doing with Mavs GG that I wasn't aware of. You were able to successfully pivot while still, kind of keeping your ear to, your core, like the streets, which is, still 2K, because Mavs GG is, they're essentially still 2K. And so you still have the involvement there. With 2K as a whole on their end with the video game, would you ever consider or want to be a dev in some form or fashion, or is that not really a goal? So you say you still want to work with them. Would you want to be a dev?
I mean, I wouldn't mind being a dev if that opportunity came up, but I think just going out to community day, I realized devs, man, they put in a lot of work. Like we knew this, but people just really don't know how much it takes to be a dev, especially for a game like NBA2K. Mm-hmm. When crunch time comes around, you're working 20 hours a day, sleeping at the facility and stuff like that. Then you do all that just to have a 14-year-old talking to you crazy on Twitter. I don't even know if I could put up with it. But when it comes to 2K, I was thinking just more on the marketing side, bro. Mm-hmm. Because it's funny because I was majoring in IT. I've always been like a behind the scenes type of person. But thanks to NBA2K, thanks to Mavs Gaming, I'm comfortable in front of the camera now. I can do things for 2K in front of the camera if they need me to, or even like the 2K League, anything like that. So, dev work, it probably wouldn't be my thing. Working on the game probably wouldn't be my thing because I realized that I just want a different game than most people. You feel me? So, that's where I'm at with that. I thought about that though. It's like, what if 2K offered the job? But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I think that, if you want to go to marketing route, I think that would be good for you too, especially because you have the experience, like you've seen what happens behind the scenes. And, I believe that you have the knowledge, for the game itself to potentially, market the game in a different state than it is right now. Like I've seen some 2K YouTubers, they done commercials for them and it didn't turn out so well because of mainly what they were trying to promote. Who was it? Cash Nasty one time, and I think was it Chris? I think it was Chris London. Forgot which 2K that was, but I think they did a commercial and they were promoting gambling. I forgot which year that was, but that didn't turn out so well.
The gambling thing.
Yeah, the gambling thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for them because Cash and Chris are so damn cool, bro. They're good people. But yeah, simple things like that would be dope to be a part of. Even with the who was it? It was iPod, QJB. They have people do a commercial with KD, little things like that. Mm-hmm. I think being a part of stuff like that would be so fire, bro.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more collaboration between the 2K YouTubers and the actual league. And I think that also, on the other hand, I think that the NBA should promote the 2K League even more. I feel like that's not happening enough. And I remember I used to watch the 2K League definitely the first year because I was very excited to see where it would go. But I feel like the 2K League has kind of faltered off a little bit. And I think that the NBA is not doing their due diligence to, properly market the product. And I feel like you should. It's the same thing with the WNBA, to be honest. And that's also another, a whole nother conversation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that needs to be, better promoted to, get that league into a better spot where more people are excited to, actually watch it because people are just simply not watching. And when people are not watching, then you're not going to get the massive contracts that the NBA is getting. And it's not just men who aren't watching, it's women who also aren't watching. Just as a whole, We're just not watching the product. So, you can't blame one gender over the other just as an overall product. We're just not watching it. And, that I think that there need to be different people, in those rooms that can, spin things around and get those two products to a better state. Because at the end of the day, they're subsidiaries of the NBA. So like you need to do, spend some more dollars to, make those products better and get them out there, because there's still people that don't know about the 2K League. Only the hardcore people know about the 2K League. And now you have something that you can strive for if you were just, playing 2K casually, but on the competitive side, and you're like, hey, like maybe there's a chance that I could do a little bit more and, possibly make a name for myself, get in the 2K League and, get some bread playing a game that I play every single day anyway. So.
Right. And it's funny you bring that up, because I probably can't go into it too much. But as of right now, it's very hard for the NBA to work. It sounds crazy. It's very hard for the NBA to work with the 2K League, which sounds crazy. Like right now, you can't have players, 2K players with the NBA players because of contract things. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Okay, wait a minute. I hate that you can't say.
It's hard to explain.
Oh my god! Yeah, wow. Okay,
like, I can't say, but that's basically what it is. Like they can't interact with each other yet. Until they change all that, they can't do anything about it. And so that's what's tough for the NBA 2K League, because these are a bunch of 2K players trying to figure out how can we grow our league. And at first, they pretty much had no idea how to do it, and but now they're getting better. They're trying to have a small social media team trying to push everything. The players are finally realizing, hey, maybe I can grow my own brand off playing in the NBA 2K League and stuff like that. So it's slowly growing. But like you said, like only the hardcore people really know about it, which is a shame, because it is entertaining at times.
Yeah. So we're going to talk some more. We're going to talk off of this. Sure. Yeah, because that's great. I didn't know that it was. Wow, that just blew my mind. Okay, well, I mean, it kind of makes more sense then, right? Like as a state right now, why it is what it, where it is. Okay, but we'll talk some more off that. Okay, so
it sounds crazy, right?
I'm very interested now as to why what it is what it is, but thank you so much, D man. This was an amazing conversation. Like I said, I always learn something new about, my homies who I've been, who I've known for a very long time. And this is the reason why I wanted to start the channel, because I wanted to get some of this stuff that I just didn't know, because I feel like I haven't had a lot of in-depth conversation with like my homies. So like I'm just trying to this is great, and definitely put more of the spotlight on people who inspire me, because like I said, I've been watching you for a very long time. I've seen your viral videos, I've seen your shifts in content creation. Then you get to 2K Day, I've seen you get on Mavs GG, and now ultimately this. So it's very inspiring for me to watch. I hope it's inspiring for other people too. D man, please tell everyone where they can find you.
So you can follow me on everything at DManUNT 2014, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. I have annual streams. But other than that, JG, I appreciate you, bro. Like you said, man, we've been talking for, like, people don't even realize it's coming up on a decade, man. Like, that's a long time. And when I saw you pop out with GI, bro, I was like, man, JG is doing his thing. So, like, honestly, you inspired me, brother, like, for real.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I still feel like we're not at a point where I can, successfully say I made it. But I think that, at the end of the day, even if it still ends up being, at the same place where it is right now, and, I can say that I made a small impact. I can at least say that. So I'm proud of my guys. And like I said, I'm always going to be in your corner. I'm always going to root for you no matter what you do.
Likewise, man.
Yeah, you already know you got a real homie in me, and we will meet up soon. I'm gonna find a way. Like I said, I'm gonna have to come down to Dallas, bro. Dallas is the only city in Texas, only main city that I have not visited yet. Like, not even drove through. I've been to Houston.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've been to Houston. I've been to Austin. I've been to San Antonio. I hate San Antonio with a passion. It's so boring.
I was about to say, you've been to San Antonio.
Yes, I went to San Antonio once with my aunt and uncle, and then the next time we went to PAC South, and it wasn't a good time. I was like, y'all just have the Alamo, and that's it. Like,
that's it.
So I need to come to Dallas for sure. I might even, I'm maybe thinking about moving to Texas. We'll see. Trying to get out of Florida.
I'm not being biased,
I know. Pretty much everybody
to Texas might not be. It's a little bit of an upgrade, but
yeah. Everybody's just been moving to either Florida or Texas for real. Like everybody from Yeah, northern US. So we'll see. But yeah, I got to pop up. Definitely, I may just pop up, like I said, just to chill, and chop it up with you. Because I've had some other ideas what I wanted to do with this channel. So I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know for sure. I'm gonna definitely meet up with you. But at the end of the day, thank you so much for watching the latest episode of Hardest Thing Podcast with D-Man, and I will see you all for the next one. Peace.